Today is February 18th, 2020, and it is also marked as National Drink Wine Day. So let's drink some wine. Alright guys, welcome back to Bottled and Bond on our wine series. I did mention that I was changing a few things around on Bottled and Bond, and I'm going to try to stray away from the whole Monday Madness, mix it up Fridays, and just make different series. Make the single malt series for the whiskeys over Scotland, Irish, all that, and make the bourbon series as opposed to the Mondays just when the product is actually put out there, and just call it the bourbon series. And then, gonna also implement a little bit of wine here and there, a little mixologist here and there. Nonetheless, I did say that I was making changes, so just understand that all that is coming through, so be prepared. Today on Bottled and Bond, on our wine series, we're gonna be diving into a winery from Indiana, and that is Huber's Winery. Bam! Now, Huber's Winery was established in 1843 by a gentleman named Simon Huber, and he had a farm, and there's a history on it. You can go on their website to read all about it. They make a large amount of different wines, to include gins, to include whiskey. This specific one is a Blackberry, and the reason why I'm including it here on Bottled and Bond is because it is bourbon barrel aged. It's coming in at 12.5% alcohol by volume, and this is actually a blackberry wine. So they use ripe, lush blackberries to make this, and then aged it in a bourbon barrel. That specific bourbon is a Carl T from the Starlight Distillery. I have had the Huber's Blackberry bourbon barrel aged wine before, and to my palate, it is by far the best wine I have ever had. And the fact that it is aged in bourbon barrel casks just gives it that brand new, fresh whiskey sensation when it comes down to the aromas and your palate and whole, man. This is freaking wine that needs to be enjoyed with almost anything. It is delicious and it is awesome. Let's open it up. So immediately the first thing you get is that bourbon. I'm not too sure how much time it spends inside of these bourbon barrels, but you pick it up immediately, and it's a sweet bourbon. It's a wine, so just think of a sweet, delicious wine, almost like a Moscato, or the Roscato, the red wine Moscato mix. Think of that and think of whiskey, right? So think about the fact that this is a regular wine right here. Smell that sweet, delicious grape wine, although this is blackberry. Smell the grape wine, and then smell this, and then pair them both together. You get the blackberry. It's there. It's a sweet blackberry. There's no hidden gems like in whiskey where you get the corn and you get the vanilla and you get the this. You get the blackberry, you get the bourbon. It smells delicious. It smells sweet. It's making my mouth water as I'm talking to you guys. So let's take a sip. Oh my God. Listen, it goes without saying that on National Wine Drinking Day, if you are not sipping on some good wine, there's something wrong with you. Now, Huber's Wine, as I stated before, is family owned and operated since 1843. It is located in Bourbon, Indiana, in Huber's farm, and there's lots to do there. There's so many different things, a restaurant, everything, and their wine selection is immense. This was the one that caught my eye because it was aged in bourbon barrels, and till this day, Huber's Wine, their Blackberry series, bourbon barrel aged, has not disappointed. This thing is amazing. By the way, what I'm sipping on right here was a gift from my wife, and these are the dragon glasses, also known as the ones that sit like that. I'm not a wine expert, but the fact that this is not bitter at all, there's a slight, very, very slight minuscule tartness to it. This would definitely go good with some salmon. I think it would pair well with nice steak, medium well or medium rare, steak, and I wouldn't do chicken with this one. Definitely anything else. Steak or salmon would do just fine. Anyways, it gets my vote. Nonetheless, guys, if you guys know of a typical wine that's aged in whiskey barrels, any kind of whiskey, that could be Canadian, Scotland, Irish, American, any kind of whiskey, and it's aged in that, let me know what wine that is. I will check on the availability and I will bring it here on Bottled and Bond for us to review on our wine series. Nonetheless, I'm Ozzy. This is Huber's Blackberry Bourbon Barrel Aged Wine from Indiana. And this is Bottled and Bond. Cheers.